Finally time to get fit for a putter. Where else? Club champion, and see my buddy Jesus Martinez. He's gonna get me all squared away. The right putter for me. Can't wait to see which one it is.
All right, Ryan, so we're gonna fit you today. We're gonna be using our Sam Putt Lab. Sam Putt Lab is gonna give us an idea of what you're doing with your putting stroke. Once we've identified the type of putter that you are, it is gonna make some recommendations as to which putter would be the best for you. As far as the lab goes, we're typically gonna try specifically the different lab models and figure out which one feels the most comfortable to you. But we're also gonna be using their fitting putter, which is going to allow us to know what the length and the lie angle should be for you. After we've identified those specs, we're going to go ahead, have you hit all the lab putters. Once we've identified which one feels the best for you, which one you're rolling the best, then we'll go through the different shaft options. And once we've identified the correct shaft option, we'll have all the specs and be ready to order your custom lab putter. All right, so this is going to go up and down. So it's gonna give us the length that would be the best for you. And it's also gonna do the lie angle for us. So we're gonna be able to tell exactly what that best position is, getting your eyes over the ball, getting the head set up, and then figuring out exactly where that length is gonna be at and where that lie angle is. All right, so eyes are right over the ball there. Good. And then we have it set up where you like it. Length's feeling pretty good.
Feels good, yeah.
Perfect. I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna just tighten this guy up. So this is gonna get us nice and tight as far as the length. And then I want you to relax. Now remember, this is gonna go up and down. So move that putter up and down. So I want you just to get those hands where it's super comfortable and where you feel like you're right where you're supposed to be. And then I'm gonna come in here from the side. I'm gonna go ahead and lock this in. Tell me when you're feeling good.
I think it's good.
Good right there?
Yep.
Perfect. I'm gonna come in here, and I'm gonna get that guy tightened up. Perfect. All right, go ahead and take a putt with that. Beauty. Never gonna miss a putt again.
I'll take this one.
So lengthwise, and this is what we're gonna need to write down for you. I mean, I guess it's gonna be on video, right? It's gonna be on video. So one of the really cool things about how we figure out the lie angle for you, we locked you in, so we figured out the length. You were at 33.5 inches. And now I'm gonna put this little guy on here, and this is actually gonna tell us the lie angle that you should be at. So you're gonna see in there, it's about 66 degrees as far as the lie angle. Now, when you think about a stock putter, and this is what I tell people all the time, you go into your favorite golf store, you got a ton of different putters, you go out, you try them all, you make a bunch of putts with one of them, you go to the front, you buy it. Well, here's the crazy part. Practically all these putters are around 69 degrees or 70 degrees of lie angle. You just putted with the exact same putter with most of these because you didn't change any of the specs. Well, when you're buying the Lab, you're getting it to be custom to your putting stance, to how you putt, and what's gonna help you the most, make the most putts. So now with you, we know we're at exactly 66 degrees of lie angle, which is about 3 degrees flatter than what would be stock with most of the putters. Maybe even 4 degrees if you're looking at a 70-degree putter. So that's really what I love about the Lab putters, is that we're able to really get it customized to exactly what you want. So when we're looking at the Labs, we have a lot of different ones. It all kind of started with this guy right here, the DF2. This is the DF 2.1. So DF standing for directed force. Now, we're gonna wanna putt with each of these and get a feel for if it's too big or if you enjoy it, and also if you're putting it well. When the DF2 might be too large for some folks, we then have the DF3. The DF3 is probably my most popular model that I get the most people into. It rolls really well. It's got a great little ball retriever, which people love. And it really does putt itself. It's one of these where I start to tell people about looking at the hole and just putting versus actually looking down. Then after the DF3, we start looking at some other options that are maybe not as big, but are gonna give folks an opportunity to still use a Lab putter. So the first one is gonna be the Mez 1 Max. So the Mez 1 Max as well as the Mez are both going to be very similar in shape, but you'll notice that they are slightly different in size, one being a little larger than the other. So we putt with both of these. Some folks will tell me that the smaller head will help them focus a little more than the bigger one. Others will feel like they get away with more with the bigger one. And so those can sometimes be a great fit for folks. And then from there, what existed before the Oz was available was the Link. The Link is a very traditional looking putter. While it still has all the technology that L.A.B offers, and it still has the zero torque, it has all those pieces, some folks just feel a lot more comfortable with something that they've putted for a really long time. So this is a good fit for practically anyone who's looking for that traditional putter type of feel. But it is going to be different. It's still going to have the L.A.B magic for sure. And then finally, the newest one that came out is the Oz. And there are two versions of this Oz. The first one I'll show you is the Oz 1. And it is aluminum, and it does not have a face insert. Really cool feature about this guy, and what I love, it has, independent from one another, the sight line on the front and the sight line on the back. So you'll actually get to choose what you want on those two sides based on their templates. So that's another great thing about getting customized, is you're going to get to pick the color of the head, and you're also going to get to pick the sight lines. All right, if that aluminum one, and you're looking for maybe something with a little bit of a steel insert, they have the Oz 1 I standing for insert, I would assume. But you're going to have this steel in here that's going to make it feel a little different. Now, this is one of the interesting parts that I think about folks. They all use different words to describe the way something feels. So for somebody who's looking for a quote-unquote hotter putter, so that means that it goes faster, some will say that a softer putter does that for them. Some will say that a harder putter will do that for them. So this is where not actually meeting with somebody to fit you, I think, is a disadvantage, because we can have that conversation about the words that you're using and what you're trying to describe, and really figure out what's the best for you and what are you looking for. So through a conversation, I'll hear people say, like, this insert feels super soft. I'll have other people tell me it feels super hard. And they're both saying the exact same thing, that the ball is coming off of it faster, but they're using two completely opposite words to describe what that feeling is. And that's where I think it's super important that we can have a conversation and we can really talk about what is that word you're using actually describing, and what's going to produce the best putts and help you make the most putts.
All right.
So the things we're looking at, how's it rolling? How's it feel in your hands? Okay. So this is at 69 degrees, because this is the stock option, and this is their steel shaft that they offer, and this is one of the options that they have for the grip as well. So we're going to dial in all those pieces, but I just want you to get a feel for what this putter feels like. What are your initial thoughts?
It feels pretty good.
Do you think it's too big? So imagine...
Thought is that it's probably a little too big, but...
So think about it also being in your golf bag. Some folks don't like how it may hit some other golf clubs in their bag.
Yeah.
So you want to think about the holistic part of this. This is a putter that you're going to have in the bag, and you want to make sure not only is it performing, but it's also feeling good and just feels good all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and point out what I think is the magic behind L.A.B. So here you've been hitting pretty centered shots, right? So center of the face. I want you to hit one a little off the toe, and just tell me what you see about the speed in comparison to hit it in the center. What do you notice about that?
I mean, it went in.
Yeah. One, it went in, but two, the speed remained constant, right?
Yeah.
So in traditional putters, When you go a little toe or a little heel, it dampens and it tends to go a little slower. And if you think about a breaking putt and how important it is to keep that speed up, or else if it slows down, it takes too much break, that's a game changer. Yeah. The fact that regardless of what part of the face you're hitting, you're getting that constant speed is gonna keep you on line more often, and it's gonna end up making more putts. So I really believe that's the magic behind the L.A.Bs and why so many folks are gravitating towards them.
I did feel like the sweet spot was not hit on that, but the speed was the same.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that it's not centered contact. However, you get away with it. All right, so you tried the DF2 one. Now we're gonna try the DF3. Not to skew it, but it is the most popular. Yep. Ball retriever, I think, is a big part of that.
This one doesn't look nearly as crazy, even though if you just gave it to me to start out with, I would have thought it was.
Yeah, I would say once you've hit the DF2 and then you get into the DF3, it feels a lot more subdued.
I feel like it really pulled that.
Yeah.
More than just a couple inches.
There we go. But ball's rolling off of it pretty well.
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think so. I mean.
All right, well, let's do another little segment. Bring up the camera. I'm gonna show you something crazy, crazy. All right, so another part that you may or may have not noticed in this is where the putter shaft goes into the head, which is very centered. And then another piece of this, which is where the shaft enters the grip, and it's actually coming up to this side. That entire lean is creating a shaft lean, which then creates a forward press without you having to do anything. And that's part of why you get such a good roll with these L.A.B putters, is because it does have that technology that's easy to miss. All right, so this is the newest version of the L.A.Bs that they have, which is the OZ. The OZ was designed with the L.A.B team and Adam Scott. And it is inspired by the Rossi putter from Odyssey. So if you're familiar with that shape, you may recognize it a little bit in this particular putter. And it's also going to have the two different face feels. Rolling this one pretty well. Like the feel of that?
I do.
Let's try this guy right here.
This Oz 2.
So this is also Oz 1, but it's I for the insert. So you're going to feel this steel insert. So it will feel a little different. Now some folks will describe that. What would you describe that as?
A giant pull.
Harder, softer.
It came off faster.
Comes off faster. Firmer.
Let me put one more time.
Yep.
Probably harder.
Okay. So some will say that it is harder. Try this guy here.
Go back here one more time.
But that is resounding consensus that the speeds are a little quicker off of the insert.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems a little harder to me.
Yep. All right, just looking at what I've seen so far, I'm thinking that guy right there or the DF3 is what it's in between. So we'll try to dial it in. Okay.
And these are, if you can tell everybody on the camera, this is about a 30-foot putt.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm doing pretty well with these.
You're fighting the elements. Give this guy a shot. So again, very similar.
Yep.
All right, so now we're going to customize your DF3 putter that we fit you for. The first thing we're going to be looking at is going to be the type of putter, so right-handed, standard as far as the putting style. They do offer arm lock, a sweeper, or counterbalanced, but for us, we decided standard was the best fit for you. And then from a head weight perspective, they do have a heavier and a lighter option for the head. However, since you play at a lot of different golf courses, you have fast greens, slow greens, all that good stuff, we're gonna go with the standard, which is gonna give you the best playability in my opinion, and that's probably gonna be the best for you. From here, we're gonna get into the shaft conversation. So there are several shafts. The ones that you were hitting today were our premium steel black shaft. Now, that is what comes stock. I always recommend an upgraded shaft. At a minimum, I talk about the Acura shaft, which is gonna give you a better feel with the putter itself. And to me, I feel like it does perform better. Don't get me wrong, the steel does a fantastic job, but you're really gonna enjoy that Acura. The other one is the gear shaft, which is a notch better or different, as some would say, but in my opinion, it does work just a little bit better. And then finally, if you want to get the best, highest performing shaft possible, you're going to want to do the TPT shaft. Now, I do understand the TPT shaft is a $399 upgrade, which does sound like quite a bit of money, but it is well worth it. I mean, really the big thing there is it's going to stay with it the entire time. And to me, it just feels like it putts unbelievably. So we're looking at going with the TPT, right?
Yeah, let's do that.
Awesome.
TPT.
So TPT is going to be your favorite. I think I just saw a couple guys on the PGA Tour using this TPT shaft, which was really awesome. The other thing we're going to do in here is we're going to put in that length that we measured you to, which was 33.5 inches. And then we're also going to put in that lie angle. This is the super important part where we specially measured you out and we were at 66 degrees for the lie angle. Now comes the really fun part and some decisions for you to make. First up is going to be what color of the head you would like.
We're going black for sure.
Oh, but there's blue.
Oh, but there's other colors, he says.
But there's cappuccino. And there's orange. And charcoal.
Is there a maroon?
Red. There's red.
Red. Okay.
Not maroon. Pink. And there's green as well. But if you like to go black, I totally get it. The shaft that you're getting with that TPT is going to be black. So I think that would be a good complement to it. Unless you want to go with a different color, give yourself a little extra flair. Any of those other colors sound good to you?
Okay, we're gonna press pause on this, and I'm gonna think about that. What color? Stand by. All right, we're going with black. Next step, you said, is the line.
The alignment mark. And we have quite a few, so many that I may have lost count, but I think it's 46. 46 different markings that you can choose from. Okay. All right, so we decided to go with J. Very strong decision there.
There you are. Sorry about that.
You decided to go with J. Very strong decision. All right. Next up, the grip. There's also choices to be made. Now you are going with a black shaft, black head. Do you want to see some contrast and go white?
Let's go white grip.
Or did you want to go black?
Oh, black. That's looking good.
The black is pretty nice. Right. It is.
Well, that was incredible experience. Jesus, thank you very much. Okay. This was awesome. We got a new putter coming, and hopefully less 3-putts.
Absolutely.
Courtesy of you, so I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
See you on the course.
Sounds good.